Alright, I just took a moment there to readjust the camera because my dog keeps bumping it, so this totally may not work. But I'll keep going for a little bit and just see if she lays down. And yeah, okay, she just laid down. That's good. Alright, coming up to a speed bump, let's see if it recognizes it, because it has not been doing a great job with them lately. Nope, did not recognize it whatsoever. Just maintaining its 25 speed, no problem. There's another speed bump that it did not recognize, so I'm pretty convinced, and I talked about this in the video that came out on Tuesday. I don't know exactly when I'm going to release this, but my FSD 10.11.2 thoughts video, I think they took out the logic for speed bumps. I'm pretty convinced, for the most part, like that's just completely gone in this build. And I think that's because of false slowdowns. Speed bumps, I think, were triggering way too many false slowdowns in 10.10.2, and so they were just like, until we can get a better model, a better way of handling speed bumps, we're just going to remove it, either entirely or just like totally reduce the threshold, which it seems like is what happened. Car's a little hesitant to get into the road here. It does need to take a right, so I tapped the accelerator because there was a car coming behind me, but the car made the maneuver, it just wasn't very confident in it. So we're gonna maybe take a right on red here. Does look like the car ended up taking the right on red. I am hitting the accelerator. I don't know exactly whose turn it was to go there. Okay, so it does see this speed bump, interestingly, but it's not visualizing it, and I wonder if that's because the crosswalk is on top of it. But it did slow down for it, which was good. It's interesting, though, the times it chooses to slow down for them. I'm not really sure what the logic is there. Anyway, if it wasn't clear, I'm just taking a leisurely drive here. Did slow down to 22-ish. Got down to 20 after the speed bump, but let's see this speed bump. It does. Okay, gets down to like 18, 19. Just taking a leisurely drive through El Cerrito, Berkeley. We'll make a stop in El Cerrito here, and then continue on to downtown Berkeley. This is just to put the car in some more difficult scenarios, like I mentioned. Interesting that we're stopping here. I don't know if that has to do with this keep clear, but I'm going to tap the accelerator because that's a very weird place to stop. I'm also going to report that. Did I miss? Didn't I? Alright, car, let's go. There's some bikers behind us. Alright, I hit the brakes there because the car in front of me looked like they were going to just continue through, and while I am confident the car would have stopped, the fact that I recognized that before the car did, you're just, you're supposed to intervene and take over when the car isn't doing something exactly right. So in that scenario, it just felt safer to disengage. Yeah, I'd never noticed this. You can actually visualize the left turn signals here. So these two on the right are just normal for going straight, and then you can actually visualize the left turns. I'd never noticed that before, so that's pretty cool. Alright, we're on to leg 2 of the trip, going from El Cerrito to Berkeley. We've had a number of disengagements, a number of interventions already. There is a lot going on, and some relatively complicated scenarios. So this is to be expected at the moment. Still is performing better than previous builds. Alright, so I'm going to see how much I can let the car do its thing, obviously taking over when it does anything very wrong or in any dangerous situations, but I really would like to see how the car performs. God. I don't was that maneuver by that person? Like, were they expecting to get into my lane or what? I don't know, but I did hit the accelerator there because the car put on the brakes for good reason. Like, you know, it looked like that other car was going to come into our lane, but I was confident they weren't going to. Alright, so a little bit of a slowdown there. I don't know if that was because of the crosswalk or something else. It was probably the crosswalk, and there may have been a person walking that the car thought was maybe gonna to cross there. The really tough thing about Berkeley is there's some god-awful drivers here that are in a hurry at all times and will make super dangerous moves and very questionable decisions. And that's part of the reason why I will take over or intervene, is just to avoid stuff like that. But sometimes there's nothing you can do, and I mean the car's not, you know, fully autonomous, so there are plenty of scenarios it's never been in and things it hasn't seen, and so it's just going to take time to learn how to drive properly when other people aren't following the rules. Wow. Okay, I have never seen that before. I've been wondering that for a while. Will the car stop in the middle of an intersection? And what it did just there is it stopped, like it knew that there was an intersection there and that the car in front of me was stopping in the intersection, so it didn't want to go in. That's really cool. Really, really cool. Alright, so this time the car did not do what it should have done. It did come into the middle of the intersection here, so I'll report that. Hopefully no one wants to take a left here, and we'll be moving straight in a sec. It is funny though how it can perform differently. I mean, we just saw it 3 minutes ago where the car stopped before an intersection to make sure it wasn't sitting in the intersection, and then in that scenario it was in an intersection and it didn't. Maybe it just had to do with the lights. Maybe it's not trained for doing that at stoplight intersections, but alright, let's see how the car does it. Looks like we may have an opportunity to go immediately when the car takes it, although it's hesitating a little bit, but did that relatively smoothly. I am going to bump it down to 25 here, just given how narrow the roads can be. We're coming up to a speed bump as well. The car does see it, does not visualize it. A little slow on that right turn. Not a huge deal because we're coming up to a stop sign anyway. Ooh. Now this was a questionable routing choice because we have to go straight. Wow, this was very weird. We should have just stayed on the main road we were on, I think with Sacramento. Now we're on a road where we have to cross straight across 2 lanes of traffic, and there's no light here. It's a very busy street as well, so I don't think this is actually going to be what we want to do. I may pull us out and take a right here. Not FSD's fault by any means. That's just route planning, weird route planning by Tesla. Alright, I'm just pulling us out here and I'm going to take a right because the car may have done it, but I don't know what this car taking the left turn is doing there, and so anyway, we'll just see how the car reroutes here. Is this car in front of me trying to take a U-turn here? Because if so, that's very weird. And will be a prime example of Berkeley driving. Yep. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. Just so bizarre. People do the weirdest stuff. But I mean, like, what's FSD supposed to do in that situation? I mean, you know, not in that situation, because it did what it was supposed to do. It just pulled up to the light. But when people do weird stuff like that I'm sure FSD has really never seen before, like, I could have marked that as something that I wanted the team to look at, but the car didn't do anything wrong, so I didn't. But, like, yeah, when you have people doing weird things like that all the time, I mean, you can see in front of me too, there's a car turning, I don't know where they were even turning around. I'm gonna have to take a look at that on film, but that white truck that was sideways in the street there, I don't know. Absolutely bizarre.